Hi, I'm Paul Chartier. Welcome to Heart of Gold. This is the fall edition, and I'm excited to have Lexington Hearing and Speech, Colby Ernest, the executive director.
Thank you.
Marcy can just figure it out when she gets home. And the director of audiology, Jeanette Miller. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Tell folks where you're located. You took over a school that closed, and it's a great location, and how long have you been around?
Yep, we're at the old Julia R. Ewan Elementary School. So we moved in there in 2011, and it's about 70,000 square feet of space that we pretty much occupy the entire space with our services. So it's been great. The transition there, obviously been able to expand services quite a bit with the space that we have, and we're enjoying it.
I think with the name Hearing and Speech, some of it's self-explanatory, but tell people exactly what you do, Colby.
Sure, and obviously people that know Lexington Hearing and Speech Center know us for working with children with hearing loss, and that is the core mission of the center, and that's how we were founded in 1960. Founded by a group of parents that had the children with hearing loss wanted an oral option for them as an alternative to the Kentucky School for the Deaf, and so they founded what was then the Lexington Deaf Oral School. And obviously, since 1960, our services have expanded quite a bit. So we're a very unique organization in that we offer a triad of care for children with hearing loss under one roof. So we offer early childhood education, 6 weeks through kindergarten, speech language therapy, and audiology services. Obviously, all for that core mission to provide services to children with hearing loss. But we go outside that role as well. We're seeing lots of children just with speech language delays that are enrolled in 2 of those programs, children that come to us just for early childhood education because of the great preschool services we're able to provide, and obviously now seeing quite a few adults that are coming to see us just for audiology services.
Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Now, I'm guessing that's going to happen after the school day or during?
It's during the day. We're
Really?
open. Yeah, we're open 8 to 5. So we have our clinic, which is on the 2nd floor of the building, and that's our audiology clinic and our speech language clinic. We have several hundreds and hundreds of outpatient clients that come to see us a year. Over 1,200 in a year typically is how many we see in our clinic from over 65 counties. So we're operating all day upstairs, all day downstairs in our school as well.
I wanted to give you a chance to talk because our time is over.
I appreciate it.
It's my turn.
Jeanette, it is your turn.
That's right. That outpatient clinic is all up on the 2nd floor, and I think when people pull in, they see the big school building and they don't realize what good quality of care that they can get right there, or they're surprised by it because they have to come up to that 2nd floor. But we have been serving adults for over 30 years, but we're not really known for that. But our kids grow up, and then they have family members, and now we're really reaching out to the community and saying, hey, we care about your hearing health care, and we want you to know that there's a place to come get that.
At what age will parents figure out that the child has some kind of concern?
What's really exciting is back in 2001, Kentucky passed a state law that newborns are screened before they even leave the hospital. Because if you get a child amplified before 6 months old, they have the potential of developing speech and language at the same rate as their hearing peers. So you can think about how important it is to get them access to that sound. And so, so you're going to know before you leave the hospital whether you need to follow up.
What possible test could they give a 3-day-old baby?
You don't think he'll raise his hand?
And talk back?
And talk back. He does not. What they're able to do is present a stimulus to the ear that is measured, and then it measures the neural response of your auditory nerve, and you figure out what level, how soft of a level, can you stimulate the auditory nerve and get a response.
On a daily basis, what is your job?
My job is I'm available to handle hearing diagnosis. So come in for a hearing evaluation. We can see where you are hearing. We fit hearing aids, hearing devices that help people hear soft sounds that they're missing, whether you're children or adults. I also work with cochlear implants, which if you have a hearing loss that's in the severe to profound range, benefit from the hearing amplification can be minimal. And so they're now able to do a surgery which replaces kind of the broken part. And then you have a processor on the outside that tells that electrode array that's talking to your nerve what to do. So you're getting sound to the brain to be heard. So there's a lot of different options that we have going on.
If parents have a concern, where do they go to contact you, or do they go to the doctor first? What's the process?
They can start just by contacting us. Physicians do refer to us. Adults and children physicians are referring to us when there is a hearing concern. We, being a nonprofit and specializing the way that we do, we also take time to really look and see what the communication needs are. With children, we take time because sometimes you can't rush a child through a hearing evaluation. And so we take the time to really move through that evaluation the best we can. And then with adults, a lot of times there's concerns that you listen in a lot of different environments, and being able to figure out which ones are the greatest problem areas. We really take time to really assess those communication needs and work through that we get the right product for you.
And did you mention between the students and your clinic how many people a year that you see?
Over 1,200 a year. We see, since we
kids and adults.
Yes, children. Yes, we say families. We typically see over 1,200 families a year. And one of the common misconceptions about the center is because it's called Lexington Hearing and Speech Center that we're only providing services to the Bluegrass community, Fayette County. And we, on average, have families come to us from 65 Kentucky counties a year to get services from us.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
And I know that you also are open to kids that don't have any issues. Is that curriculum the same? How does that work out with those kids?
Yeah, so our Early Learning Center is what the third department outside of audiology and speech is open, like I said, for 6 weeks through kindergarten. Obviously, the priority-wise for us is to enroll any child that needs those services with hearing loss or speech-language delays. We do have spots available outside of that. So like I said, we have about 150 children in the center. About 40 to 50% of those get services from us in our clinic. As you get into preschool and kindergarten, the percentage rises to closer to about 60% of the children that come to us for preschool are also getting services from us. But we see a great benefit not only for our children, of course, that require our services, but the children that don't require our services and are just coming for daycare or preschool or kindergarten services. The families that graduate from that program a lot of the times are just as appreciative of the center that we provide for their children as the ones that require our services. They were obviously got to see children with different types of disabilities and while they were in school, and as they graduated out onto what we say big school, it's not an issue for them, and their families appreciate that, and they just in general appreciate the care that we provide to each child that goes there.
Is there tuition at Hearing and Speech? How does that work?
There is a tuition, and obviously there's a cost for all of our services in our clinic as well. As a nonprofit, we strive to raise about a quarter of our budget through fundraising so that we can help families that need the financial help. So there is a tuition for our school, but we back that down based on the family's income and what they're able to afford. On average, in a typical school year, we're providing about $100,000 in scholarships to those children that need the tuition scholarship in order to go to daycare, preschool, kindergarten there, as well as audiology and speech, where we have hundreds of thousands of dollars that we're going to raise in a year to help families afford the quality hearing health care that they're going to get, and the services and the equipment as well.
Jeanette, you've been in the business for a while.
Yes.
What advances have you seen? What technology is better or newer that's really helping kids and families hear better as a person?
Well, the computer is amazing because as the computer chips get faster and faster processing, because hearing is a very complicated and very detailed signal that you're trying to replicate back to the brain through a microphone and through a computer. And just in the last year, they have gotten the computer chips so incredibly fast that the microphones now can stay where it's picking up your world in 360 degrees, which is how we hear
Are you saying a microphone?
on your processor
Okay.
or on your hearing aid
Okay.
right here, is picking it up in 360 degrees. But it's so fast that it's now determining what is speech and what is background noise, including speech babble, and it's cleaning up in between words. It's that fast.
Anything else in the technology side?
That's just the hearing aid side. Cochlear implants have been around about 30 years. They kind of started, and that technology has just really the quality of the stimulation, and they're working more towards even music appreciation, which was something that people have said is very lacking at the very beginning of the processor journey, but now that's becoming even better. The other thing is connectivity. You know, usually you have a hearing device of some sort, you got to figure out how to use your phone with it. Now your cell phone is starting to stream directly to your hearing aids. Your iPads are streaming directly to your hearing aid and your implant. So you now have your own headset walking around with you, and you can talk to cans of tomato, canned juice at Walmart, just like everyone else, you know, when they have the Bluetooth device.
We talked about the needs. You raise money. What's the phone number? What's a website people could go to?
Yeah, phone number is 859-268-4545. You call that number if you feel like you need any of our services, or if you want to get involved, volunteer, want to be involved in one of our fundraisers. Also, our website is www.lhscky.org. That also is going to provide any information that you would like to get from Lexington Hearing and Speech Center as well.
We got a couple minutes while Marcy's off having free lunches and showing her pretty face. You're there in the trenches.
Sir.
What are some of the biggest needs that you have?
We are a very complex organization. We're a fairly big organization in that we are dealing in healthcare and we are dealing in early childhood education. That requires, obviously as a nonprofit, quite a bit of volunteers. That requires a lot of fundraising. Like I said before, in order to meet the demand of what we see from both adults and children that require the services we provide, in order to meet that demand, we have to raise quite a bit of money throughout the year. And we're very fortunate to have a very loyal donor base that continues to provide financial support to us year after year, in addition to grant funding and the events that we have. It's we're very fortunate. We have a great loyal donor base, and we couldn't do it without them.
But you'd love to expand it.
We'd always love to expand it, of course.
So anybody watching, give your website and phone number again, Colby.
It's lhscky.org, and it's 859-268-4545.
And in closing, Jeanette, share with people what you see with children and adults that once they get over that hurdle of being able to hear, how it changes their life.
Communication is between people is why we're here. And when people find out that the hearing loss has been keeping them from talking with their friends or talking with their child or talking with their grandchildren, it decreases depression, it decreases social isolation, and you get back and you're involved and you keep yourself mentally fit. And that is really important for all ages to remember, that your hearing loss actually affects your mental fitness, and getting back in is important. Getting it back is important.
Dr. Miller,
Yes.
thank you for being here.
Yes.
Colby, thank you. Tell Dennis I said hello.
I will.
I'm Paul Chartier. We'll be right back on Heart of Gold.